Huffman Land and Cattle and Harwood Rancho are not very far from each other in northwest Nebraska. The Huffman and Harwood families have more in common than just their proximity. They also agree that sustained production is essential to the success of a cow herd.
The longevity and the fertility is probably the most important aspect of our operation, because once she's 7 or 8, she's really paid for. So if she can produce calves for another 12 or up to 12 or 13 years old, that's basically 5, 6 free calves that we get by not having to replace her.
Our cows we keep till they're 12, 13 years old, and they perform pretty well till then. And that's important to us because when you raise your own heifers, it takes you quite a while to get some payback from that. What you've got invested into them and so on, it takes you a few years to make a profit.
Although each of these families face different challenges, they both see the value of breeding maternal function into their herd, which is why they rely on Gelbvieh and Balancer genetics to help produce superior females.
So the reason that we started using the Balancer genetics is to create the perfect hybrid female. Our perfect genetic cow is going to be a quarter Hereford, a quarter Gelbvieh, and 50% Angus, kind of a 3-way composite. So what we're trying to do with that composite cow is ultimately take full value of the hybrid vigor, part of what we're doing here, and adding that little bit of crossbreeding to get those extra few pounds or just the more efficient animal.
The fertility is great. We hardly have any empties. The last 2 years we've had no empties in the breed back on the first calf heifers. And same way with the whole herd, if we have 1 or 2%, that's a lot for us. Some years we just have a couple out of the whole herd, so they're very fertile and do very well.
Gelbvieh and Balancer females are really known for their fertility, for their longevity, and for the ability to raise heavy weaning calf year after year. These females breed up early, they rebreed the second season, and then they remain in the herd a long time.
A longer productive cow life not only adds profit to an operation, it also helps to make it sustainable.
Sustainability really starts with the female, and so when these females are fertile and they have a long productive life, that really contributes to overall ranch profitability because you don't have to be replacing your females as often. And so, it takes 6 to 7 years to pay for a cow, and if she can produce another 6 to 7 years after that, that's gravy in a rancher's pocket.
Another benefit to Gelbvieh and Balancer cows is they still perform even when drought or other weather issues reduce the amount and quality of feed available. That's due in part to their moderate size, which allows them to consume less while still weaning heavier calves.
And these Gelbvieh and Balancer females do really well in adverse conditions. In August of 2021, the U.S. Meat Animal Research Center at Clay Center, Nebraska, released the findings of a recently concluded study that found Gelbvieh females were the most moderate mature size of any of the major beef breeds. I really think that these moderate mature females have lower maintenance, lower input requirements, and the ability to efficiently breed back and then wean that heavy calf.
When they go out to pasture, they've got to be an animal that can utilize what's there, and these Balancer cattle really do well on just most anything, actually.
The best drought management plan is to have the best cows that can manage the drought. Last year was one of the most severe droughts in this country, and we calved on grass, we paired out to grass, and they didn't have hay, and everybody else is buying probably as expensive hay ever in the history of Nebraska. Our cows are grazing, so the profitability of that is really tremendous.
The cows of both the Huffman and Harwood families are in high demand because the Gelbvieh and Balancer genetics fit the needs of their customers.
Our Balancer calves that come out of our system, we sell primarily video lots on Superior Livestock. Those guys don't buy those cattle year in, year out if they're not good,
We get quite a bit of feedback on our calves, and everybody's always really impressed. And constantly, year after year, have quite a few people in the crowd or even buyers that say that some of the best cattle they've seen.
Reporting from Nebraska, I'm Kate Maher for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.